Hello, beautiful people. It's day 3 of me keeping my word to myself and also posting on social media every single day for the next 30 days. Woohoo! Very exciting. Anyways, today we are talking about something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, which is money. So while I tidy up my space, let's tidy up some of our thoughts around financial conversations. So, how many times have you been with friends and avoided talking about things like salaries, the debt you're in, your financial goals? Is it even something that comes up in your conversations with friends and family? Because it's almost like there is this unwritten rule that money talk is some sort of taboo, right? But in my experience, I've learned that, breaking this silence can be one of the most powerful things we can do for our financial well being. Now, think about it. We talk to our friends about our relationships, we're comfortable with that. Sometimes health issues, things going up in our workplace, and sometimes we're even comfortable gossiping about other people's financial situations, right? But when it comes to ours, why is it that we feel uncomfortable talking about our money situation or just money in general? And for me, I believe this may be attributed to a number of reasons. And first on my list will probably be cultural factors. Now, some of us were raised not to talk about money because, of evil eyes. Because, you don't know, what the other person is going to do with that information or how they can potentially harm you, right? But on the other hand, some of us were also raised just with the idea that talking about money is just plain inappropriate, like asking someone how much they bought something or how much something costs, for example, right? The second thing for me is, money is deeply tied to our self-worth and our social status, and we may worry about being judged for having maybe too little, or maybe even appearing boastful for having more than our friends and family, right? Which I completely understand that sentiment. I also believe financial vulnerability makes us, vulnerable. Like opening up about our money, struggles with our friends and family can make us really feel, the way I like to describe it is naked, right? So, but just like cleaning reveals what's underneath, I believe honest money conversations reveal our values, fears, and dreams. And while I understand that it can be really scary, I also believe that it's incredibly freeing. So let me tell you how talking about money with one of my friends actually completely changed the trajectory of my career here in the UK. Now, for people that are new to my channel, I moved to England in 2021. And to be honest, I was very clueless. So I only relied on conversations with people that I knew in terms of, just understanding what the terrain was like. But ultimately, I, was checking out online for accommodation. This was even before I moved. And I, wanted to live in Canary Wharf. And I wanted a 2-bedroom house. I targeted, monthly expenses of £3,000 a month. Now, this was me coming in completely naive, thinking, £3,000 was was not a lot of money in this environment, right? But anyways, this was what I was targeting as what would be my monthly expenses, so rent, living expenses, and all. Based off of that, I had a particular salary amount in my mind that I thought that I should be earning to be able to afford a £3,000 monthly expenses, even if I'm not going to be able to save, right? So I ended up talking to, 2 friends. The first one completely discouraged me, and he was like, what do you mean you're targeting this salary amount? Like, do you have an idea of how much the average salary in the UK is? And I was like, I don't know. And it was like, it's £30,000. I'm like, okay, so was like, do you know how long people have to work in this system to be able to earn what you're targeting in the first place? And I was like, well, I don't. And he was like, for someone who doesn't have a UK work experience, doesn't have a master's degree, doesn't have this and that, you're just coming and you think that you're going to be able to target this kind of salary, right? And I'm not going to lie, that sowed a seed, right? A negative seed in my mind, and also it reflected in how I was talking to recruiters after that. Like, I was scared to tell them what my salary expectation was because someone had told me that, it wasn't attainable. Now, on the flip side, I did talk to another friend who wasn't based here in the UK, and she's based in the US. And I called her one day and I was like, babes, can I ask you a question? Can I ask, how much do you earn? And, she was gracious enough to just tell me, the figure. And while I understand that the salaries in the US compared to the UK is like night and day, when I looked at what the equivalent should be, I was like, I'm selling myself short by targeting whatever that amount was in the first place, right? If my friend can achieve this, then maybe I should be, aiming higher. And just having that conversation, right, with that my friend gave me a very positive outlook towards what I think that I can actually achieve. And even though I was still scared, I'm not gonna lie, off of the conversation that I had with the previous person who had sown a negative money conversation in my mind, I had a bit more confidence in asking for this targeted salary from recruiters going forward. And I remember that shortly after I had this conversation with this, my friend, I did, get a call from a recruiter about, a role, and I was telling them what my salary expectation was. They're like, oh, that's great. This employer, actually has this salary range, which was, I would say, 20 to 30,000 pounds higher than my original, target salary. And that really spurred something in me. And I'm like, I'm trying to target something that someone else is making me feel like, it's unattainable. And at the same time, I'm getting approached for a job that, was even like 30,000 pounds higher than what my initial target was. Even though I didn't get that particular job, what that did for me? That gave me the confidence to also increase my salary expectation going forward. Yes, was I still scared? Yes, I was. But I was going to ask for that amount scared. And this is one of the benefits of talking about money with some of your friends and even family members, right? Yes, you might have a negative conversation around money, but ultimately, if you're able to filter it out, you might be able to, get some positive things out of it. Some of the conversations I have with my friends now are like, what are you investing in? How are you making more money? What are the jobs that you're looking at? How is, your house, now that I own my home, what are some of the expenses that you're incurring? What are the things that, I can do to, save more money? What energy company are you using? All of these little conversations, yes, they might be a bit uncomfortable, especially when you're asking people, questions that maybe make them uncomfortable, like how much do you earn? And I have to say, shout out to this, my friend, for being very open and transparent. And I would also say that it's the quality of our friendship that gave me the boldness to be able to ask her directly, like, how much do you earn? And I understand that you may not have that with all of your friends or even family members. For me, it's been a positive experience, speaking to people about money. And also the way I see it, it's like a two-way street, because If you're only asking people, how much their rent is, how much their salary is, and you are not open to volunteer your own information, maybe people might not be comfortable with you. But I also understand that, people have also had their hands burnt in the past from sharing how much they earn, how much they have in savings, the things they're investing in, how they're making their money, the kind of businesses, their suppliers, and all of that, for their businesses. Where people have either put them on a pedestal and expect them to, pay the bills when they go out, or maybe when they say no to people, they are judged from not being able to, help them simply because you have an idea of how much this person is earning. And I know it's a really tricky thing, but, like I said, for me and that my friend and a few other friends that I have that we're comfortable sharing with each other, it's because of the quality of our friendships. And I believe that if you invest in, solid friendships, it doesn't have to be a lot of people, right? But if you invest in, really solid relationships with your friends, it'll be easy for you guys to talk about money. And it doesn't matter how, sensitive the subject is. It could even be something really vulnerable about your fears around money, the debt you're in, how you feel stuck in your career, or how, you're thinking about negotiating a salary raise. All of these things are very important conversations that you need to have. One of the things that I shared with my friends, recently was about not wanting to invest in properties for now because, I need to recover and I also need to pay some debt off, right? It also means that my friends that, really pay attention to the things that I'm saying to them, they don't invite me to places where it's going to cost me money and derail me off of my goals. Right? When you're hiding that part of yourself from your friends, they're just going to be thinking, what's going on with this person? Or, expecting you to do stuff because you're putting on a performance around your true money situation. Whereas like if you are able to open up to them, tell them what you're going through, they may be able to, help or give you, good advice. Now, I'm talking about really good friends in this situation, people who genuinely care about you and are open enough to, give you good advice, not put you in situations where, they're encouraging you to live a little while you're trying to get yourself out of debt or while you're struggling with money. I'm particularly grateful to this, my friend, that actually shared her salary with me, that helped me to have the confidence to ask recruiters for how much I wanted to earn. And I ended up securing a job with a salary that was way, way higher than, what I was initially targeting, which I believe that ordinarily, if I didn't have that conversation with my friend, I probably wouldn't have, been able to do this. So yeah, I'd like to know, how comfortable are you talking about money with, the people around you, your friends and family? What fears do you have around, sharing this, thing about you that may seem a bit uncomfortable? I'd also like to hear from, people in relationships that are married as well. Like, how open are you even with your spouse around, your financial situation, so to speak? Anyways, I've come to the end of another video. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next time. Bye.